wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. Be yourself, see yourself, this is the show, my people. Believe our hopes are to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution, yeah. No respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to build a and all the things that will happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play around, get where you need to. You can tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling is the show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. Be yourself, see yourself, this is the show, my people. Believe our hopes are to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution, yeah. No respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to build a and all the things that will happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. Be yourself, see yourself, this is the show, my people. Believe our hopes are to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution, yeah. No respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to build a and all the things that will happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play around, get where you need to. You can tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling is the show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. Be yourself, see yourself, this is the show, my people. Believe our hopes are to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution, yeah. No respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. changes. We are the changes, WB. And all the things that must happen like dark and blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place no calling.
Welcome. This is WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. It's a Friday morning, a wet Friday morning here in Belize City. We welcome you to the program. I'm Nuri Mohammed for steering the ship this Friday. It's open lines, so you will get a chance to call in and make your points that maybe you wanted to do yesterday. We'll have a good dialogue today, inshallah. We usually start off with preliminaries. These preliminaries include a look at the weather, clearly raining. I'm not sure if it's the whole weekend, but we'll hear now from forecaster Francisca Wellington.
Moist and unstable conditions will support cloudy spells today and tonight. A few showers and isolated thunderstorms will develop mainly over central and northern areas today and mainly over southern areas tonight. In the outlook, a few showers and isolated thunderstorms will affect most areas Saturday. An excessive rainfall watch remain in effect, especially for central and northern areas. Winds today will blow from the east at 5 to 15 knots and seas will be choppy. Low tides will occur at 7:44 this morning and 6:56 tonight. High tides follow at 1:53 this afternoon and 1:05 tomorrow morning. Temperatures this afternoon will peak at 82 Fahrenheit up in the Maya Mountains, 88 along the coast and 93 inland. The moon will set at 10:30 this morning and sunset is at 5:57 this evening. In the sarcasm forecast, satellite and surface observations continue to show large amounts of sargassum over our area. As a result, coastal destinations will continue to be impacted during the next few days. In the tropical weather outlook, tropical cyclone formation is not expected over the North Atlantic basin during the next 48 hours. And that's the latest from the Belize Weather Bureau. Do have a pleasant day.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
Elements of the Guatemalan Armed Forces, GAF, on September the 10th made their way to Belize's Sarstoon Island in a couple of vessels and defiantly placed the flag there. The incident occurred just days before the Belize Territorial Volunteers' annual trip to place a Belizean flag on the island scheduled for Saturday, September the 13th. Footage show a Guatemalan captain in an exchange with the Belize Defense Force soldier affirming that the BDF cannot take down the flag after the BDF soldier, speaking in Spanish, says, quote, "You take it down and you take it down or we'll take it down ourselves respectfully. Man to man, we leave it at that." The BDF soldier then tells the GAF that Guatemalan flag is never placed on the Sarstoon Island, of which the GAF captain states, quote, "It does not belong to you," end of quote. He tells the BDF, quote, "Your entire life you've been the one stirring things up, bro. Your entire life," end of quote. The BDF soldier then says they are merely following orders, of which the GAF soldier or officer responded that they too are following orders. We share these untranslated exchanges.
Lo bajan o lo bajamos nosotros, amablemente. Entre hombres se queda eso, sí. Nunca ponen bandera ahí.
Que no te pertenece.
We are come back, we. We are come back. Nunca se pone bandera ahí, amigo. ¿Qué está pasando?
Toda la vida ustedes han sido los brincones, mano. Toda la vida.
Solo estoy haciendo mi trabajo, igual que tú. Tengo órdenes que seguir.
Igual nosotros.
In a statement on Thursday morning, the government of Belize reported that tensions were diffused following the intervention of the Ministry of Defense and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. According to the release, high-level discussions between senior officials of both countries immediately ensued, quote, wherein Belize expressed its strongest objection to the recent illegal placement of a Guatemalan flag on Sarstoon Island, which lies within Belize's sovereign border. Belize also expressed concern about the presence and the conduct of the Guatemalan Armed Forces (GAF) personnel who supported the illegal action. Guatemalan officials subsequently confirmed that the Guatemalan flag had been removed. End of quote. The release adds that during recent bilateral discussions, both countries committed to ensuring that actions that could lead to escalation or confrontations are avoided. It also reports that the meeting ended in an agreement that they will develop and implement a coordinating mechanism to manage operations in the Sarstoon to prevent incidents of this nature. The government of Belize says that it will lodge a formal protest against this violation of our territorial sovereignty and the aggressive actions that accompanied it. The Attorney General of Belize has refused to the request I'll read that again. The Attorney General of Belize has refused the request for information by the redistricting claimant Jeremy Enriquez under the Freedom of Information Act FOIA. Enriquez on October 18th had requested a detailed breakdown of the legal fees the government paid for representation in his redistricting case in 2025. The Attorney General first narrated that what transpired in this case and the redistricting case of 2019 and pointed to the commitment made by the government after March 12, 2025 elections to get the redistricting done. The Attorney General then writes, quote, "We find it perplexing that you have brought a claim which courts have ruled Justice Nubi and Horrendo are without merit, and now requests government to say how much it has paid for defending the unmeritorious claim and in the face of government's clear commitment," end of quote. Acknowledging that the matter of retaining outside counsel is of public interest. The Attorney General explains the circumstances considered when deciding on outside counsel and notes that there are benefits derived from such decisions. It uses the recent multiple land title case as an example in which the government has been able to save $2 million. The AG then outlines the factors used to determine the fees paid to an attorney. These include time and labor, experience and reputation, what is customarily charged, or similar legal services and others. The reason provided is not grant the FOI. The reason provided to not grant the FOIA request is that the disclosure of information would likely, quote, have a substantial adverse effect on the interests of the government in relation to pending or other legal proceedings, end of quote. It further writes, quote, these attorneys are busy doing the work of the state. To subject these attorneys to potential safety and unwarranted attacks while in the process of doing the work of the state would be reckless and unpardonable, end of quote. Enriquez has sought the intervention of the Ombudsman for review of this decision. In a joint release on Thursday, the KHMH Authority and its workers' union, along with the Ministry of Labor, reported that the resolution of the long-standing pension dispute. The matter was reported to the Ministry of Labor in June of this year. It had to go with the payment of pensions to staff members who joined the institution in 2001 through to 2017 before a provident fund was established for new hires. According to the release, there was a process of structured dialogue and mediation that was facilitated by the Labor Commissioner, after which an agreement was signed for ex gratia payment to qualifying employees though the figure was not disclosed. The release notes that qualifying employees will receive payments by December the 31st this year, and former employees will be paid by December 31st, 2026 upon proof of employment. The list of qualifying employees will be vetted by a joint committee comprising of 3 members of the management and 3 union representatives. The release states, quote, together the 3 parties affirm that this agreement is a milestone in Belize's labor relations and a testament to what can be achieved through cooperation, dialogue, and mutual respect, end of quote. For many battling mental health issues, accessing healthcare can seem a daunting task, almost impossible, mostly due to the perceived stigma that is attached to accessing such care. Errol Longsworth, the outreach case worker at the National Drug Abuse Control Council, explained that they turn to alcohol or drugs as a means of a perceived easier fix.
Addiction is I have something and instead of me going to the hospital or to the mental health unit and find, okay, so what am I going through? I feel this way. Instead, I'm at home and I don't know what's going on. I need a quick fix. I need something to let me get over whatever I'm going through. Hence the reason alcohol and drugs are just the answer to a problem. Alcohol and that's why it's in everything. Every time I need a quick fix, every time I need a shortcut, a way out, alcohol and drug is my answer. So when we work with people in addiction, we don't try to take off alcohol and drugs from them. We try to let them see that there's other option. alcohol and drug was just one option in their line of possibilities of how I should get over this thing. If I have a depression, I go to the psychiatric unit, they evaluate me, they give me a medication to stabilize myself. I go through therapy. It seems like a lot, and people don't want to go through all of that. I drink my bottle of rum, I go to sleep, and I wake up the next day. Quick fix. So when we work with people, we start to say, okay, alcohol and drugs was just one option that you use to remedy a situation that you're going through. Let us find out what is this situation. It could be a mental health problem. It could be a financial problem. It could be a domestic problem. Then once we find out what is the situation, let's find out all the possibilities of how you can overcome the situation, and not using alcohol and drugs as a means of overcoming that situation.
All right, that's our news package for this morning, the 12th day of September 2025. We have more news coming up on this station. I'm speaking now about CREM Radio, an update at 12 and also one at 3, and a full news broadcast at 5:15. All of this on CREM Radio. Here on XTV, we bring you the news, the full news broadcast at 6 o'clock this evening. It's now 10 minutes to 7 o'clock. We'll take a very fast break, come back, and we'll open the phone lines for the premier conversation every week here in Belize City. We'll be back.
Informative, accurate, current information. CREM's newscast. Local, regional, and international news. Weather and sports.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank. Building the future together.
Amandela is now online. You can now access Amandela's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandela.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandela's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandelapress@yahoo.com or amandelapress@gmail.com. Amandela, all power to the people.
welcome back. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes on a Friday morning, the 12th day of September 2025. And we welcome you, and our numbers here, 280-5848, 280-5848. You're welcome to call and to weigh in. Of course, the big thing on everybody's mind, little pause from the Budna Gate issues. We're now talking about one more time dealing with this facey Guatemalan regime that continues to say one thing to us on the diplomatic side, and yet, like, disconnect with their military, they continue to do the same thing, and this time going actually on the Sarstoon and putting their flag there. They don't normally do that. They normally just bump our boats and try to threaten us. But this time they face it and gone actually on the island itself. And then if you read the dialogue, then they like say, well, I know the can cause trouble to we. Welcome, caller. Morning, sir.
Man, like my pain, especially when they divert traffic when they have funeral. They have Vernon Street. The next one, the Antelope extension all the way to the back of Gwen there to the boulevard. When cemetery block off by the Burngong there, they're using two main there. And the street, the well cement street, and then like one-way traffic. I mean, there are like vehicle up on the two side, mechanic, body works. Now I'm paying for him to go through in the regular days. Fathers Road, at least a man Fathers Road, they send on two traffic officer there, but Vernon Street, between Cops to the highway, a disaster, man. And that with the two party, two council come in and they can't control the area as they. Antelope Street are the same way by the workshop all the way up to Boulevard.
Yeah.
That vehicle on it, right.
Well, because you know the area, where you would have suggest today?
Deal with the vehicles there were parked on the street for months, for years.
Boy, you know how long they've been saying they'll move off derelict vehicles?
But none of the party,
Why?
none of the councils they could do anything.
No. I don't know, they can't, they got a law.
The cemetery.
As far as I know, the council got the law in their hands. I remember, it must have been about 15, 20 years ago, Marcus Spot came up with a great idea that they would go around the city and pull up all these vehicles, because basically they're not only a traffic problem, but they're derelict. Many of them are left there and can't do nothing with it, they just abandon it, and it's not right. But I hear you, caller. I hear you. This problem of traffic is a serious problem. I myself, around 10th of September, they try pass parade and go around this area and wrong. It's an issue, definitely. All right, good. Thanks, my brother. Thank you. 280-5848, 280-5848. You're welcome to call and to weigh in on what you think is important to you. As I said, we haven't heard about the Guatemalans in that category for a long time. As a matter of fact, we kind of give the Guatemalans one ease over this Budna issue because we're mostly focusing on Budna, how you get there, and so the story is almost entirely a Belizean story rather than a Guatemalan story. But the Guatemalans have brought themselves back on our radar with this crazy move in the Sarstoon. Welcome, caller.
Yeah, morning.
Morning, bro.
Actually,
whoa. You give me a feedback and I can't pick you up. Yeah, you got to knock off that radio there.
Okay. The people in the same party, paying people to beat people up in the same party. That's kind of confusing because I don't want to beat you with money if I got more money than you. I just want to beat you outright. But I wish that you would take the money and vote for the best candidate in each game constituency. Yes, my bad.
All right. Okay. Yeah. That's his story. I think he did talk about the upcoming convention. But yesterday, off camera, Dickie and I did talk about this. Take the money and vote this way. In a kind of a moral setting, You're not supposed to do that. But when you're to deal with an immoral environment, take the money and run is justified. It's not right, but it's justified because the whole ball of wax got problem in it. So they say, well, if they could do that, I could do that too. But taking money for your vote, whether at a convention level or at a national or municipal level, in the morality of your government system is wrong, because you're not supposed to buy your vote or sell your vote, excuse me. You're supposed to use your vote as a power to get your person up, because your person represents your values. And so by getting your person in a position of government, it's like an extension of you. That's what your vote is. I put you there because I think you represent me and the values where I got. So when you get round the table, I expect that my voice and my opinion and my ideas when there. It's an ideal situation. We kind of really work like that, but that's the ideal. Welcome, caller. No, all right. So the number here is 280-5848. You're welcome to call and to weigh in. Like I started at the GAF, we have not seen the Guatemalans in that posture for some time, and it seems strange that they would do it a couple of days before Will Mehere's usual yearly journey in that area. Welcome, caller.
I just want to apologize.
What's that? My brother, if you don't give up an opinion unless you run out of credit, stay on the line and express yourself, man. Because when you throw a word like that, nobody don't quite understand what they say and what the point that you're making. And unless you're worried about somebody want to recognize your voice or something like that, you ought to stay and make your opinion, because that's what this program, WUB, is all about, is you're expressing yourself so that those in authority, not only government, but leaders in general, can hear the pulse and pick up the pulse of the people and the concerns of the people. And that's one of what has been established here at WUB, is that it's an open forum that whether we agree with you or not, you have the right to express yourself on your feelings on this issue, because we are not dictators. We are not, they say we are influencers, but we don't influence you if you go in this or that direction. We influence you with our own opinion on these subjects. Welcome, caller.
Express yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Good morning.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah, express yourself.
Indeed.
When I said take the money, brother, Nuri, take to whom money?
That's a good question, because guess what? It can be.
Most of the time, after we want money, they use. They don't use for their money. After we say money, they use. To vote for them, and we vote them in and vote to sell vote. Remember when you vote politician, most of the time you vote them in and vote to sell vote. Because they benefit, we don't benefit. Most of the time we don't benefit nothing. I tell you. You got a house right now on me, brother Nuri, and all on the agenda is loan. That's why you hear about loans. Who benefits from these loans? 44 years of independence. I born, grow, and I dead there. I don't got nowhere. You there, Nuri, you say development. We can't say development not happen. But it don't happen much. When you look wrong, you say everybody look despondent. Serious. People like some of them kind of give up. They sit and they walk and like they done that. Serious. They don't got a courage to like move on. The loan and the pressure every day, the pressure. You don't get a break. You know how much people can afford to leave vacation right in their own country, to leave week.
Yeah.
They can take a leave break, make my mind, rewind and come back again. We can't do that.
Yeah.
The loan and the pressure, and many a time the pressure come down from who will put in a government. Serious, because they will make my life better, and all our life better. If they love the people, love the country, and do the right thing to benefit this country and the people. watch this rain that you come right now. You know what people are in a problem with water?
Boy, yeah.
With water all over the place,
Yep.
with water. If you invest, even the Petro Carib money, you may say 150 million out of that drainage, countrywide. We are doing loan drainage, countrywide. You know how that would have helped you up to today day? If even next loan, the super bond, if money was used out of that, we do the same thing. We were drainage, we are dealing drainage, then we are dealing street. We may have better for 100 years for now we are right. But then brother not care. Serious, then give you a little and then take my lot. Two of them do the same thing. Look for their life to for we life. Look for their picnic life to for we life. Look how they live. Big house they build right now for 100 piles. For a house they build and I stand up here. I mean, it's time I think that was a hotel. I heard a house. About 100 piles. It's about the trying to show Nuri. And these things there, man, it really sad. It's sad when you think about it and the money will pass through this country. Billions and billions of dollars pass through this free country. Nuri, 400,000 people. With the amount of money we pass through here, brother Nuri, talk the truth. You don't believe it should have been better?
Of course.
Than where we are today?
Of course, my brother. Especially the fact that we got such a small population. And yesterday, off camera again, Dickie and I were talking about the models that George Price and Philip Golson left. And while you might disagree with some of the policies that they had, the lifestyle that they tried to have, which they brought from the 30s, 40s, 50s. And by the way, in those days, politicians was not into glorifying themselves as much as they are now. In those days, politicians was more focused on a kind of a cause or a purpose. We don't see these politicians today having anything where they emanate from something internal. They're only trying to dazzle you with what they could do outside. But man like George Price, man like Philip Golson, these men were not interested in their own glorification or the glorification of the people around them. I know the stories they tell you about George Price and his family, but the fact is that he, of his personage, walked the street of Belize in a way that we could identify. He never got on no fancy shoes, no fancy this, fancy that. No, when you talk to politicians of this day and time about that, they look at you as, well, you know, you stupid. Where you to try to take us back way? Look at politicians all over the world. Don't you see they ride in the best cars? They wear the best suits. They show up at these conferences and these workshops looking the way they look. So you stupid to try to say that we as politicians should have ride in our Lee Ford Bronco or one of the Lee cheap vehicle when we could ride in Lexus and all these bigger vehicles. In other words, don't you see that people have voted us in and they don't got no problem with us being as glorified as we are? I'll say this another thing before I give you back, caller. Again, yesterday we were talking about the fact that not only do area representatives and even those in the opposition get paid from the government coffers, but there is a stipend of about, I think he mentioned yesterday, $25,000 that is given to them as their constituency money to give off to their people. So no money no they come out of their man pocket. Them man not they lose nothing, them woman not they lose nothing. The government is giving them money to pay them so that they don't have to hustle. I think it's up to $80,000 or something a year. And then they're giving this money on a monthly basis so that they could give money to people. And then they ride around in a fancy vehicle, you can't see their face, and they, you know, they're walking around with thug drivers who look like they want to jump on you if you. It's a crazy system from what George Price and Philip Golson established, and which we are supposed to have enhanced and built to another level in the last 44 years. We still got people, like you said, my brother, where they struggle for survive. In 2025, with a small population of less than 400 or less than 500,000 people. So yes, I agree with you that something is off. And it has to be, to my mind, a moral question And I go across the board, it's the blue and red. I'm not going into no, oh, the PUP do it more, the UDP do it more. They're all indicted. They're all indicted because they campaign one certain kind of way, and then when they get in a cabinet, in this collective cabinet thing, they turn. They turn. I told Dickie that yesterday, and I told about Godwin Hulse, and I told about others who were down here in the valley struggling with us. And as soon as they got up to that level, it's like one brain thing take place, and you say, boy, is that Godwin that I used to hear? Is that the Sedi that I used to hear? Is that the Dickie that I used to hear? What happened to them from here to there? So that's one of the issues that you young people are going to have to deal with, because we are fading out. You are coming in. So as you become more active, what will be your moral position if you get into power? Because it's a moral question. Everybody hustles unless you got some morality to say, boy, I can't hustle with other people's money. I could hustle with the $80,000 they give me, and I could be creative with this $25,000 they give me here to do in my community vote. But I can't jump into these big deals where they call money out of contracts and money out of UNDP money and all that thing there, and Chinese money and Arab money. I can't cut it off to ensure that my wife and my wife and my wife and they will all have big money and big cars. It don't work like that. So we have a problem, and it is a moral problem. It can become a legal problem where we could take people for dishonesty in front of the courts. But these are not legal questions in most cases.
Yeah, Brother Nuri.
Yeah.
Brother Nuri.
Yes, sir.
It ever occurred to you, right, my brother, it ever occurred to you, a woman order food and cannot pay for it, but go to jail, right? Can't pay for the food, they order it, you don't got the money to pay, but maybe I'm hungry and go to jail. And there are politicians who have stolen millions upon millions upon millions, and they're right out there among us, without even one charge. That ever occurred to you how the system is?
Yeah.
You know, it's sad. It's sad when you look from that, and you know, and we know, that there is serious corruption all over when it comes to government, and nobody go to jail.
Yes.
But yet if I go deep on orange or mango and they hold me, I go to jail.
Yes.
Then I say, why am I hungry? That's why you deep the orange and make I give you a break. They charge me, right? Or bike up, stop, cur water, bottle for your bike, they charge you, but then brother thief millions upon millions, and we know it.
Yeah.
And it's right there, we go find where they go there.
Well,
and we see it. None of them go to jail for the 4 years. Which one of them used to go to jail for corruption? None. The one never want to come in and holler who the man spend $1 billion without going to the house. And when we get in, what should we do? Well, they do nothing. They come right in and then they do the same thing. They only talk in their turn. You see? They don't talk to change nothing. That's we turn now. So one of the ministers said, well, clear when you get in, after we turn now, after we people. So the people are believed and all them people. I mean, think that they all are when they come in, but after we turn now, after we people. So it's sad, but I know it's really, really sad in this country. I don't know how we are changing.
Well, you said something earlier, and I want to make sure that people understand this, because sometimes we say, well, boy, we only thief one Lee arrange and then look for send we to jail and then man up there and thief for big money and they get away. That almost sounds as if it's to say that small thief easier than big thief. Whether you're the thief on arrange, whether you're the thief something small, you're still a thief.
You're still a thief.
Still a thief. So now they justify, well, I could thief this car, then the thief. No. I know they say you to say that. I know they say you to say that, but they say there's an old thinking that, well, then the thief anyway, so nothing wrong with me, the thief, yeah. But man, you the thief on somebody with poor like you. You can't the thief on the poor and then justify, well, everybody the thief, then you not in big man the thief too. No. Thief the thief. And if you want to correct the thief, you can't be one thief to try correct one bigger thief. So we got our own morality issues that we got to deal with, and that is something we don't want to deal with. Minute you start to talk moral, well, you to bring church and religion to me. No, don't bring your religion to me. No. This is not religion. This is right from wrong. There's such a thing. If you don't believe in God, right is still right and wrong is still wrong. They're not only according to the Bible or the Quran. Right is right. There's such a thing as logic. So if you know you to do something wrong, you can't justify where you to do wrong because him to do wrong too. That's the problem, one of the problems what we got.
What is it? Brother Nuri?
Yes, sir.
Not to cut your pastor, brother. Well, what I'm saying,
yeah.
The law for you should be the law for me. If they could charge me, they could charge you. That's the point where they make.
That's the story, and I agree with that. I agree with that.
They could charge you too, but that's not happening.
No.
The law for me different from the law for them.
Yes.
You could get with it. Why can't get with it? That's why they don't knock you out very small.
Yeah.
I take my lick.
Yeah.
But then keep big, and then they touch them. Then they ain't gonna court. Then they get charged.
That's it.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's the reality.
And I agree with you. I know the takeaway from that point, there, my brother, because I get your point. You're absolutely right.
I know they justify, right?
No, I know.
You pay the penalty.
Yeah.
But make them pay too.
Yes. The knife will stick the sheep that the knife was supposed to stick the goat. I agree with that. But here what happened too. Just to go along and I agree with you, police investigation is not focused on high crimes. Police investigation is not focused on fraud. It's not focused on corruption going up. Who do you hear the police is investigating for any kind of white collar crime? And that's where criminals are taking advantage of people and getting billions and millions of dollars silently because then they do it in our scheming way that the police, who spends 90% of their time to run around to chase young boy, can't focus on this area. You look at the police budget and you'll see 75% is administration and dealing with LE boy. They don't got no money focused on cybercrime, focus on embezzlement, focus on these areas. They have no FBI system going on here, no Department of the Treasury going on here. It's just policemen that are empowered to go after young boy. So we need to understand that the very system in which we have accepted is a skewed system where if you're poor, you don't get the rat. You go in a jail right now and you look at who is the percentage there in jail. Does that mean that rich people, does that mean that only black boy commit crime? Of course not. But where is the detection? Where is the investigation? Where is the prosecution? It's all done in this section here. It don't mean others not to commit the crime. So you're right, my brother. You're right. The knife will stick the sheep should stick the goat. So if we look in a jail and we see one or two big men in a jail, one or two big women in a jail because they are thief, crooked, criminal, but then they ride around in a SUV and then they ride around looking very good. They got on tie and you don't know they're not thief. So yes, I agree with you very much, my brother, that we need to make sure that justice is across the board, you know. Thank you, brother.
All right, brother. You take care. Have a great weekend.
You too. Take care. 820-5848 is our number. 820-5848. You're welcome to call in. We got about 5 minutes more before we get 2 cents can. As I said about the Guatemalans, this is a new time. And I don't believe that what happened down south is a happen chance. It's why it didn't happen last week? Why didn't it happen some time ago? It would have been wrong then, but why choose right around the time? And don't act as though the Guatemalan military don't know that Will Mejia takes the territorial volunteers there to place a flag on the Sarstoon as a part of our ownership of the Sarstoon, a part of our acknowledging our ownership of the Sarstoon, since that has been an island of controversy. Will Mejia has been going down there with not just himself, but some volunteers to establish that. Because we up here, we have lost that. I mean, we sing from the Rio Hondo to the Sarstoon, but we don't even know where Sarstoon there. I wonder if some of we know where even Rio Hondo there. And we just sing it and sing it and sing it. So it's people like Wilmer here who have established in our mind, etched in our mind over the years that look here, you go and place down your name Sarstoon. And even the previous governments have not looked at what Wilmer here was doing as in our favor. Matter of fact, some of them have chided him in the past, I won't name which minister, telling him that you're causing trouble, you provoke them people. Why not just stay cool? So stay cool and make them come and put their flag on the Sarstoon? Do we think that there's not an issue? So kudos to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Fonseca, for being strong and making his language and his press release back to us sung a little bit like he got some teeth tonight, because our previous ministers of foreign affairs were always sending out these lukewarm press releases after these issues. I have seen it where Wilmer here was criticized in the press release, saying that you're provoking these people. What do you mean you're provoke? How can I provoke you in my own yard? This is my yard. I know they provoke you if you come and you do the incursion in my area and in my space, they buck my boat and things like that. And then you, the government that I belong to, want to say, you, I did chastise you because you shouldn't have been down there in the first. What kind of craziness is that? That is my area. Yes, it's an area of contention, but the whole damn South. As a matter of fact, when I understand what Assad Schuman tell me, we have put up the entire country to say to Guatemala, all right, if you think this is a week, let's go to ICJ and see what ICJ says. Some people think, oh, it's only from the Saboon going to, no. We have put up the whole thing on the deck. And the assumption, or at least in what Dr. Schuman is saying, is if we win this, then can't come back, because if we only give them one part, they might come and say, well, what about the northern part? What about this area? And what about that area? But if you put the whole thing in front of the judgment, and the judgment gives us a favorable judgment, which we all are assuming that it will be, then it is to be understood that Guatemala, after the ICJ decision, cannot come back and claim any part of Belize. It don't mean that they can't come in other ways. And we need to understand the real politique of what is going on in the world today, where Gaza especially, and the behavior of that rogue nation named Israel that has been going into other territories, violating international protocols, international laws, that you can't be invading other countries. They do it front away. They're doing it in front of the eyes of the governments like the United States that try to tell us, be straight, keep your human rights, make sure that you do the right. That's the posture that the United States has had. Be good, be right, be straight. If not, then we're going to come in and ensure that you do the right thing. Look at what they are allowing to happen in Israel. Look at what they are allowing to permit Israel to do, to bomb Qatar. Qatar just give, wait my name, Mr. Trump, $1 billion gold plane, something like that. There are all kind of assets in some of them companies to ensure that they sweep him up. Saudi Arabia, there are all kind of millions and millions of arms deal. And still, they don't, meaning United States, don't stop Israel from doing what Israel is doing. Qatar just give you one big time gift, my brother. Just walk you around like you don't want a king or something in the areas there, and you allow the Israelis to bomb them without chiding the Israelis, giving them a little, you shouldn't do that, man, or lad, man, will you try to solve this problem? Why would you talk to Israel like that? Why would you talk to Israel like that? And then slip your, this is a typical example of knife switching. You stick the sheep with one knife, then you change the knife and stick the goat with our next knife. So now you talk about all these areas that you consider rogue. Modero, you are rogue. Venezuela, you're a rogue. But Israel, you're not so rogue. You just misbehave from time to time. It's a skewed world. Just allow yourself to think straight and allow yourself to think skewed like this world. It's 7:30. We'll break now for 2 cents can that is presented by our brother, Brick City. And it is sponsored by Fort Point Security. Stay tuned.
Watching WB and this is XTV and don't know that Big Up Friday, so we could go get it, big up people and big up.
First one, pick up everybody on the street and all the one who working hard. Don't know.
Don't you say it. Don't you say it.
Everybody where they back so we're part of Melina Field and when they killed Melina Field last week Saturday.
All right, that be big up.
Yeah.
Right. Big up, who you want big up?
Yes, amigo, good.
All right. Friday, who you want big up?
Amigo.
That you big up. All right.
Yeah.
What do you want big up?
I'm a friend there.
All right, good. Big up Friday, who you want big up?
Who I want big up?
Yeah.
I want big up Janelle, I want big up Zoe,
yeah.
and big up Bubla.
Mother, of course, Sonia Guerrero Macaulay. My boss, of course, one thing, Colonel Philippe, never stray.
All right. Who you want big up? You want big up nobody? All right.
Big up Global.com.
All right.
It's September celebration time, and time again to paint up the place and more with the help of Brothers Habet and Habet. Enjoy incredible discounts on our wide selection of vibrant colors from the brands you know and love, like 15% off Berger, Penta, and Domestic paints, 25% off Berger, Penta, and Domestic select shelf and discontinued colors, and up to 50% off clearance paints and lots more on clearance. We have more savings on favorites like Rotoplast vats and products, Eureka vats, Hansgrohe faucets and shower valves, all things Moen, mirrors, sunlight windows and doors, Piso Forte tiles, and track batteries. Come in, call or WhatsApp us today for these great deals. Celebrate this September with color and pride. Brothers Habet and Habet wishes you all a happy and safe September celebrations.
En Atlantic Bank, tu comodidad es nuestra prioridad. Nuestro centro de contacto está diseñado para mejorar tu experiencia bancaria, con una amplia gama de opciones de servicio al cliente. Ahorras tiempo y esfuerzo. Puedes llamar fácilmente para bloquear o desbloquear tus tarjetas de débito y crédito, realizar consultas de cuentas y acceder a información detallada de tus tarjetas. Ya sea que necesites asistencia con la banca en línea, apoyo para comercios o consultas generales, nuestro equipo está listo para ayudarte. Para mayor comodidad, si todos los operadores están ocupados, puedes dejar tu número y un operador te devolverá la llamada lo antes posible para asegurarse de que recibas el apoyo que necesitas. Para mayor seguridad, es posible que necesitemos verificar tu identidad con un conjunto de preguntas sencillas. Recuerda, Atlantic Bank nunca solicitará tu nombre de tu usuario ni contraseña de Atlantic Online por llamada telefónica, mensaje de texto o correo electrónico, asegurando que tu información personal permanezca segura y protegida. Nuestro equipo de apoyo está disponible de lunes a viernes, de 8 a.m. a 6 p.m. en inglés y en español. Simplemente marca al 223-1212. Esta es la línea dedicada para nuestro centro de contacto. Atlantic Bank se compromete a brindarte un servicio excepcional y las herramientas que necesitas para administrar tus finanzas de manera conveniente y segura. Aprovecha al máximo nuestro servicio del centro de contacto.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
The biggest business event of the year is back and better than ever. The Expo Belize Marketplace 2025. Mark your calendars and join us on September 13th and 14th at the Marion Jones Sporting Complex in Belize City. Don't miss your chance to explore hundreds of local businesses showcasing the very best in local products and services. From unbeatable deals and mouth-watering food and drinks to live entertainment that'll keep you moving. The Expo Belize Marketplace has it all. Whether you're shopping, discovering what's new on the market, or just enjoying the vibes, there's definitely something for everyone. So come on out and celebrate 29 years of Belizean innovation at the Expo Belize Marketplace 2025. See you there. Expo sponsors include Bowen & Bowen, Smart Belize, Maurice Sharp's Fine Foods Limited, Quality Poultry Products, Digi Wallet, Grace Kennedy Belize Limited, Cellular World Belize, the European Union, Diversified Life Solutions, the Belize Tourism Board, Tenchtronics, Woodstock, Belize Soca and Culture Fest, Love FM, Love Television, Creme Radio, XTV, Hot Off the Press, Hits 100 Oye FM, Belize Entrepreneur Spotlight, and the BCCI's Western Union.
Welcome to Design Depot, where you'll find premium quality products from trusted brands, all in one place. Visit us today for quality products, expert service, and the brands you trust. Design Depot, all in one place.
The biggest business event of the year is back and better than ever. The Expo Belize Marketplace 2025. Mark your calendars and join us on September 13th and 14th at the Marion Jones Sporting Complex in Belize City. Don't miss your chance to explore hundreds of local businesses showcasing the very best in local products and services. From unbeatable deals and mouth-watering food and drinks to live entertainment that'll keep you moving. The Expo Belize Marketplace has it all. Whether you're shopping, discovering what's new on the market, or just enjoying the vibes, there's definitely something for everyone. So come on out and celebrate 29 years of Belizean innovation at the Expo Belize Marketplace 2025. See you there.
Numbers here 2805848, and please call in and weigh in with your opinion on whatever the case may be. We're talking about the GAF and we're talking a little bit about the governance process, but we have a long, broad agenda in Belize today. There was a time that we only had a few things to talk about. Believe it or not, you're not old enough to know that. But there was a time when only 2 or 3 stories really go wrong and really had draw most of our attention. So you could go cross town this way, that way, and the same story was being discussed because we never got a lot of things on our agenda. But today, you can't keep up because there's so much different angles of different stories coming up, whether it's the area of crime, whether it's the area of politics, whether it's foreign affairs, whether it's intimate affairs between people, whether it's domestic quarrel, whether it's them youths on the street. It's all kinds of different things that can occupy our minds today. And if you don't have a personal focus, let me share with you, that you could get distracted and pulled into all of these various agendas. And believe me, you need to have your own agenda as you look at these other agendas. Don't make any agenda become your agenda. You need to know who you and what you're about. Welcome, caller.
Good morning, Nuri.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yes, Nuri, I just wanted to touch on a couple of things this morning with you.
Yeah, man.
And I'll get your opinion on things as well. Jerry Enriquez had applied recently under the Freedom of Information Act to have disclosed to the Belizean public the extent to which the government of Belize has entered the coffers of the Treasury to pay private attorneys to fight a constitutional claim brought on behalf of Belizean people by him. He has been denied that access. The people of Belize have not been given the measure of payment issued by the government to those private attorneys. And I believe that the rule of law and transparency dictates that they should do such. We derided the last administration for using private attorneys at every instance to fight cases where the Attorney General's ministry had the competence and capacity to do so. What we can say about the last administration is that they did provide the country of Belize with the extent to which those lawyers were paid, but now we are having stonewalling from the present administration, which is not good. So now we have that situation. The Jerry Enriquez situation, of course, it's where he has been fighting for this redistricting, addressing the malapportionment that exists in representation, which goes towards the individual's right to have proper representation, given the numbers in the constituencies. So this is not something that I believe the Belizean public should be denied on either side. We need the redistricting, and we need to know why private attorneys were paid and how much they were paid. So we've had this going on for a while now, and it seems to me that there is no political will to do the right thing constitutionally, which brings me to the next point, because we have become so attuned to having the Constitution be overridden by those in authority that now we have a major incident taking place. One where a Belizean was abducted and taken to Guatemala, and two where the Guatemalans now in behind that have stepped onto the Sarstoon Island and planted a flag. So you have surrendered your own sovereignty, you have violated your own people, you have breached the rule of law in your own country, using officialdom to do it. So why should the Guatemalans now respect your territorial integrity when you don't respect your own sovereignty by giving up your own people without due process? So I understand that there's some diplomatic talks going on, but ultimately, by virtue of the very act of our own leaders, we have compromised our position internationally, because the world is watching. The world is looking at what has taken place, and Guatemala is a part of that world, man. And they are directly involved in this nonsense because they were the recipients of a Belizean citizen taken out without due process. And trust me, they understand it. Guatemala has been locking up presidents now for the past 5 or 10 years So they know what corruption looks like. They know what breach of the rule of law looks like. And they know the consequence of that breach. At least for them, we don't know it here. Because nobody has ever paid from officialdom for breaches of the rule of law and violations of the Constitution when it's being done deliberately in our faces.
I hear you. I hear you. On the matter of freedom of information, caller, I am not sure, but I thought that once you applied on the basis of the Freedom of Information Act, that the government was compelled, I thought, I'm going to go back and read it after I saw Mr. Sylvester's response to Mr. Enriquez, I thought that once you applied for whatever documentation and the government had access to that document, that they were compelled based on the Freedom of Information Act that should be provided to you. But what I'm learning, and maybe I missed it in the past, I always thought that that was required, that was compelled to do that. But what I'm seeing from Mr. Sylvester, the Attorney General's response, is that no, it's not in their interests to detail what monies were paid to the government lawyers in this particular case. And why? It's a matter of dollars and cents.
Right.
But he is also, and I'll give you a chance to go back, caller, and you could help me here, because maybe as a learned attorney as you are, I'm not able to understand some of the nuances. But it seems to me that that law was because governments before that law was stonewalling and telling citizens that you didn't have a right to know. It's just like that whistleblower thing that we're trying to get past. We thought that once you block us based on that law, and I think that was the spirit of when that law was passed, you must tell us. You can't come back and tell us, no, you know, for security reasons and for reasons why we may think that these people might get harassed, etc., and their privacy might get exposed, and then you even went as far as to say there may be some danger to their life as a result of us knowing how much government paid them for legal services. I didn't buy it when I saw that, you know. On the other matter though, caller, I don't think that the Guatemalans necessarily, outside of their clandestine behavior, which is, it's sort of universal, I don't know if they were involved in any way in trying to get Budna back in their way, because Budna had been an escapee from Guatemala for quite some time. And the way that Budna had behaved at Belize, it's as though the Guatemalans had no concern. I was wondering myself many years ago when he resurfaced, how come the Guatemalans are not saying to our embassy in Guatemala that guess what, we need to get this man back because he's a kidnapper and he's an escapee, etc. Nothing from the Guatemalans, nothing from the Guatemalans. And then now that he is back in their custody, and by the way, if anybody may think, and I heard some crazy suggestion that Guatemala might hand this man back over to, that not happen. That man is going to serve his time. The only space he's being given now, which sounds mischievous to me, is that he has a lawyer over there who's giving him access to Facebook and all that. But that not make no difference. I know like them want to send you back to Belize. You are going to serve your rest of your time that they, unless you escape again and go to the next hospital and do the next thing. But where you're going then back to Belize, and then Belize will say, oh, Buddha is back. We would look like a crazy nation. So he not to come back here. He wants to spend the time that he was supposed to spend for his conviction of that. So I don't believe that, you know, the Guatemalans were somehow involved in that. But I think, and I don't know if this is the way you're going, but I think they take advantage
Allow
of
me
it.
quick, Nuri.
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not saying that the Guatemalans were involved in it.
Okay.
The Guatemalans were able to see, observe, and experience Belize and Belizean authorities breaching the rule of law by bringing that man to them. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically you as a Belizean citizen, and every Belizean citizen, have the protection of the Constitution from arbitrary deprivation of your liberty, and you are guaranteed under the Constitution the right to due process. But when you pluck up an individual outside of those things, extrajudicially, and give them to a foreign nation, and not only any foreign nation, but a foreign nation who carries a claim on your territorial integrity, what you are telling that foreign nation as an official, because again it was not John Q. Public who took the man and handed him over, it's the police themselves. And with the sanction of other police officers and whoever else may have been involved. So Guatemalans understand, man, if you could do this, which Guatemala would never do for us, you will never find no Guatemalan police kidnapping a Guatemalan and giving him the Belizean authorities. When the Guatemalans have encroached across the border and have been doing illegal logging and illegal cattle ranching in Belize and have shot persons in Belize and run back over the border, when have they been brought back?
Good question. Good question.
When have they ever been brought back to Belize? So we had the situation at Caracol where pure persons were killed. Tourists. What was the young man, Dennis, I forget what Dennis last name
That's
is,
right.
who
Yes.
got shot at Caracol. That those people who did that crime from Guatemala have still not been found.
Excellent point, sir. Excellent point.
So we should not be surprised that after this Budna situation, on the 10th day of September, the St. George's Key Day, Guatemala sends us a message, and a very strong one. According to Wilma here, this is the first time Guatemala has set foot on the island. But not only did they set foot on the island, they planted their flag. They are telling Belize, to hell with you on the ICJ. We are claiming this. With the BDF there, no less. Man, I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
The BDF should have just left. Don't stay there and watch that happen. You don't have the guns, the ammunition, or the presence to do anything. Leave. Don't be there to be filmed. That's really ridiculous. If you're going to be there, you better be able to do something. If you can't do anything, leave. You understand? And this is what the authorities have set us up for. Humiliation, embarrassment, and bullying by our neighbor who does not respect us. I don't believe that 2 men going home, the commissioner and Flowers, is enough. I believe that the Belizean people deserve the truth, the whole truth. That video needs to be released. More people need to go home. How did that man get that gun from the precinct at Belama, or wherever it was that he got it? Whoever allowed that man to get that gun, whoever sanctioned it, needs to go home. He was off duty. He had no right to a firearm. There are more people that has to be held accountable, and the truth must come out in this particular case, because as I said before, we've had it where Farid Ahmad was abducted. His abduction led to his murder. If he did not have the presence of mind after being shot to run his vehicle off the road into a parked trailer, we would not have known how he died. Okay? There have been others who have been abducted and killed by police officers. We don't know if they have had sanctions from the top or wherever they got sanctions to do their things from. But in this case, this is the first case where we have enough information to be able to connect the dots, and we need to connect those dots as high as they may go and have this situation be addressed comprehensively. Take care.
Just before you go, brother, I want to ask you, since by now people recognize that you are a learned attorney, the police and the government has asked the police to investigate itself. There's been a call for an independent investigation. The Prime Minister said he would do that. The Minister of Home Affairs said he supports the idea. But so far, it's only Ms. Anderson that is doing the investigation. I wondered if your group of learned attorneys, I know you are a part of a group separate from the bar, if that group can make themselves available, because it is a legal question and legal minds can decipher exactly what happened. Do you think that that group of which you and several of your colleagues, attorneys, why don't you write an official letter and say officially, we are volunteering our time to do this investigation?
Nuri, we have police officers, we have former police officers with legal training as a part of the Association of Defense Attorneys.
Okay.
Who know the protocol, who know the people who are there, who understand police procedure, but are now versed enough in the law to be able to do things in a way to assist whatever investigation is going on. And here's my fear on this thing, Nuri, because the longer this thing takes, the more I believe there's an attempt to water down, dilute, and make disappear those pieces of information that may connect others who have not yet been named. When you have investigation on top of investigation, but then you're talking about having an independent investigation afterwards, that's too many hands touching that's too many hands being made to be involved before an independent person, an independent objective body be made to do it. That doesn't help the situation. That's murking the waters before.
Clearly. But it can be done though. Yeah.
So that will not be, the Belizean public should not accept that. The waters is being muddied on purpose.
Yeah, but it's what I'm saying, and yes, you're right, it is, and some people say it's intentional. The point I'm saying is that you guys are an established, credible body of legal minds, and if you put on your letterhead that we are saying to you, Johnny Brisenia, the Prime Minister of Belize, that we are prepared to offer our services free of charge and ensure that in a short period of time we can come up with an investigative report for you on the steps of what took place in the abduction of Budna. I mean, that can be done, and if it's one thing in your private quarters to say, well, you know, we could do this and that thing won't be bogus and that no help. What the public needs, the bar seem to be mute and can't seem to get up from where it is buried, but you guys seem to have come up, you're critical on the 13th Amendment and other things, then why don't you get into the mix, get in the front door and say, look, we are, even if the government rejects, then that will be a big question as to why would you reject people who can do an independent investigation free of charge and rely on the police investigating itself. That does not work. It doesn't work in New York, it doesn't work in Chicago, it don't work nowhere. Why? Because we're investigating ourselves. There's certain little areas and nuances that we will not bring up because we're investigating ourselves. So you need a clear, objective mind. And I think you guys got that, Arthur. You should do it.
This overture has been made to the government already, but certainly it has not been made public, but
Well, you need to make it public, because I would not be wasting my time if I knew that you did that, and I think that's public information. That's as important as the Freedom of Information Act, man. We need to know.
And it will be made again.
Okay, good. I'm glad to know that. We need it. We cannot allow the story to fade away like you suggested. You know, it can be a little breeze. And we have a tendency, you know, that's our DNA. We tend to forget.
This is too fundamental.
It is.
This is too important to the fundamental rights of the citizen for it to just go like that.
Yeah.
Cannot go like that.
Yes, absolutely, sir.
Take care.
Thank you, too. We'll take our next break. It's 2 minutes now to 8 o'clock. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize, Morning Vibes.
Come the banquet, find your way. Engines roar at the break of day. Volvo outboard, surf the waves. Castrol oil is what they crave. Live with power, feel the sound. Heavy machines shake the ground. Riding Honda, feeling proud. Rev it up and shout aloud. Feel the wind against your skin. Smell so wide, let's begin. At banquet where dreams ignite. Gear up and let's take flight. Kohler's power runs our towns. JCB lifts heavy pounds. Find the tools to build your dreams. Banquet's got the best machines. Grip the wheel and never slip. Feel the rush, it's time to trip. Every brand you know and love. Banquet fits you like a glove. Feel the wind against your skins. Now so wide, let's begin. At Banquet where dreams ignite. Gear up and let's take flight.
Banquet, equipment, parts, service. We represent quality.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
Whether you are a busy person or stuck in traffic or having an adverse or very demanding circumstance, tension builds up, causing you to be stressed out. Stress attacks everyone, anytime, any age. And stress is a killer. Palm City? It's best to be alive than dead. So visit Freetown Drugstore to get options to relieve stress and to relax your mind.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you today?
I'm so stressed out.
Okay, I'll say I help you right now. When I this daily, for 10 days, I am good after that, okay?
Okay.
Freetown Drugstore, 28 Freetown Road, where you are better off alive than dead. Freetown Drugstore, telephone 223-2876.
The biggest business event of the year is back and better than ever. The Expo Belize Marketplace 2025. Mark your calendars and join us on September 13th and 14th at the Marion Jones Sporting Complex in Belize City. Don't miss your chance to explore hundreds of local businesses showcasing the very best in local products and services. From unbeatable deals and mouth-watering food and drinks to live entertainment that'll keep you moving. The Expo Belize Marketplace has it all. Whether you're shopping, discovering what's new on the market, or just enjoying the vibes, there's definitely something for everyone. So come on out and celebrate 29 years of Belizean innovation at the Expo Belize Marketplace 2025. See you there.
welcome back. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. It's a Friday morning, kind of a wet Friday morning here in Belize City. How is it in your part of the country? You know, we have this thing where it could be raining crazy in one district and sunny in the other area. So I don't know what your situation is, but right here in Belize City, we're under the rain. Our number here is 2805848, 2805848, and you're welcome to call in. We're talking about the Guatemalans. We're talking about the corruption situation. Welcome, caller.
Nuri, good morning to you, Nuri.
Good morning. Welcome, sir.
I am sad to see my beloved Belize caught in an entangled web. There is a lot of confusion. The word discombobulated can be applied at this moment.
Very much so.
I am not defending nor condemning Budna. I am condemning the way he was robbed away from his native land. But Belizeans don't know. Budna is serving the Guatemalans for a purpose. Condemn, this is opportunity. The same thing they did with Mihai, I don't know if you heard Mihai.
Yes.
Ardali was recruited from Belize in the late 1940s during Ubiko days. Mihai used to sell ice cream in Belize City. Mihai was so vicious attack against the government, British government, and then the PUP. I met Mihai in Guatemala, and he confessed that he was recruited to go and tell the Guatemalans the truth about Belize. Okay, Budna at this moment is very useful. That's why they're giving him lawyer. I sure he got a nice bed to sleep. He's given freedom of the press over there to attack Belize. Because that is what he's doing.
That's what he's doing. Yes, sir.
So, I don't think that Budna at this moment is afraid where he's being treated royally, as Mihai was treated. But let's leave that. Let's go to the bigger one. The bigger one is that Belize at this moment is totally confused as to what they are doing. Nuri, my research tells me that before independence, we had fixed borders. We had fixed borders that were respected by the Guatemalans and by we Belizeans to go across. We had protected borders that were well protected. We had the officials over there recognizing Belize as a nation, even though before it was a nation. That's why they had a border and immigration. If they thought Belize was there, they wouldn't have an immigration. They don't have to have an immigration, nor a customs. There was control at that border by a comandante. That was the name of the person that was the boss in Firebone and Plancha de Piedra. That's how Bensor was named. So there was actually respect. Entered independence. Heads of agreement. Heads of agreement were sweet toughies that were handed over to Guatemala for their propaganda, to tell their people, we are making headway. Because what was given on the head of agreement was actually all that Guatemala needed. That was a betrayal. On the eve of independence, Guatemala managed to push heads of agreement, 16 heads of agreement, which was totally opposite to independence. But Nuri, that never ended there. The people rejected it violently in Delhi City and hailed that heroine Socorro Bavadia, which I heard she died, no? I think somebody killed her, whatever, over there in the States. So the people rebelled, but that remained there. That remained there in spirit. 1600 of agreement. Then in 1992, Nuri, our people went to the OAS and signed another agreement declaring that there are no borders between Belize and Guatemala. No borders. You had people in the area. There was a Catholic priest in Popton that went to village and tell them they can go over except because there are no borders. I was told that by people there that lived there. So the people say, well, we can begin to enter and catch satay for export. But then it went further. And in 2003, Sir Sridhar Rampal was brought in to sign another agreement, adjacency zone. The borders were converted to adjacent zone to suit Guatemala's desire. And then, confidence building measure, 2003. 2008, our foreign minister went there and he said that based upon previous agreements, he signed the compromise. That's what foreign minister said. He said, based upon previous agreements that were thrown at him, he signed the compromise, recognizing Guatemala claim to be taken to the High Court. But then, the big one come. In 2016, our Coast Guard was actually not defeated, but had to surrender to Guatemala at the island. 2016. And when they requested for support from mainland, they were ordered by the highest person in the land here to abstract themselves from the island. There was this Guatemala military people wanting to take over. The Coast Guard stood here about 11 days. I don't know if that's true, but they stood there firm. When they got the order, tell the Coast Guard to abstract themselves. Guatemala took over. Then in 2017, 1 year after, the Commander-in-Chief in Belize made a statutory instrument saying, telling Belizeans, don't go to the Sarstoon. Did that mean we have lost it? We are surrendering the island and the river. Don't go to the Sarstoon. Now would like to tell me that I can't go to Bully Tree or I can't go to Belmopan because somebody else is there claiming it. So this matter is so confusing. Then we go further, having accepted that Guatemala has a claim which was never accepted before independence. We stood there very firm. Guatemala's claim is unfounded. And we said why? Because Article 7 is a sham. That road was not built, but Article 7 says, but you can also use the river. The cart road or the river. The lawyers, our lawyers, have never told the people that Guatemala exported all their mahogany logs through Sylvester, Ben Stewart, Don Emilio Ave, Marufo, right through our rivers. I used to ride from jump from log to log. They were so thick from Guatemala. Their chicle. Their chicle was brought to Benquedia. I have pictures of it. And then taken by our boat for the export. So Guatemala used our rivers. Why did our lawyers not fight that point there? That we did not build the card road, but we used the existing river. Article 7 is very clear. So now, we are at the point that we went to the ICJ, violating Schedule 1 of our Constitution that describes the lease to the last inch. That article in the Constitution is still lively. It's alive. Why did not they suspend that schedule for them to be able to go to the ICJ? So they overrode our Constitution and they went to the ICJ. Nuri, this is very confusing. To me, I am a researcher, I'm not a historian.
Well, you bring in a lot of facts there.
Historian dealing with living matters of belief. I am not a historian. That is left for those that come and copy the archives and write a big book. And everybody say, oh, Mr. Humphrey, Narva Doctrine. And they came and copy everything that they wrote from our archives and whatever they could find. I believe in the living story of belief, which has not been told. I am only giving a little tip of our story. But actually, we have allowed this to happen. The Sarstoon was released, Guatemala took it over, and then from there, Belizeans were prohibited. They went to Istanbul to set a protocol. Nada. Nothing came out. But Guatemala said, man, we don't give with this already, man. Why you want to take it back? I leave you with that knowing.
Thank you very much, Don Hector.
But I leave it at that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Wow, that's a valuable chronology there. You know, and it goes back, and I guess repeating this thing over and over sometimes is irritating, but we should have been conversant, just like Don Hector is giving us a chronology going right up to 2018, 19, going from way back. We should have that almost like in the back of our hand. I mean, or, you know, we should be able to articulate and rattle those things off because it's our territory. And because there was a time in this country that we were all inflamed when you mentioned Guatemala. And I'm not saying that we should be panicking the way we were sometimes, begging the British, please no leave. But by now we should have grown, we should have matured into each of us being able to articulate exactly what's going on over there with Guatemala. Yet, as we are speaking now, as Don Hector is speaking now, as CREM and XTV continue to tell this narrative over and over, there's still people out there who's like you're hearing it for the first time, you're paying attention to it for the first time. And this is a real serious situation. Because if you don't know what the claim is all about, how will you be able to judge what the ICJ says about that claim? Suppose they start trying to break down, chop off piece, give them people a piece of this part and a piece of that, and you run wrong, you don't understand how this thing even started. Do you know how confusing that will be with us? Welcome, caller.
Hey, good morning, Nuri. Good morning, Belize, and thanks very much to Don Hector for that history lesson. Indeed. A while ago. Indeed. Always a pleasure listening to our elders,
yes, indeed.
educators on this.
I hope
country,
that Sandra will come back soon, because
I miss Sandra, man.
We absolutely,
Really
especially
miss
on this
Sandra.
issue here particularly, Yeah, go ahead though, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Nuri, I just wanted to weigh in quickly on the points that Brother Arthur would have touched on earlier as well. No? Nuri, the officers who may be involved, and I'm not speaking about the officers that carried out the act, but the officers that gave the instructions. Those officers are effectively commission officers, meaning that those officers are governed by the Public Services Regulation and they're appointed by the Security Services Commission. Nuri, the regulations is clear. When there is an investigation that involves you, you are to be placed on administrative leave. Everybody needs to go on administrative leave, and as the evidence is being gathered, those officers are to be placed on suspension. If there is enough evidence, there is charges brought against those officers, and they're interdicted from office, and then they're prosecuted. Now, the Briceño administration, led by John Briceño, is playing games with the Belizean people with a clear attempt to confuse and mislead us, as they have tried very, very arduously over the last 3 weeks. We now know, with the commissioner being on administrative leave, that high-level officers coordinated the abduction and kidnapping of a Belizean citizen. We now know that. We now know that also based on a news item in which the person responsible, the officer responsible for the SPU, a unit to which these officers were recently assigned, they were only assigned to that unit upon the now the commissioner taking office. So under his instruction, those officers were sent over to SPU. They were never there. So it would appear to me that it also raises the question whether there was a detailed plan already in motion when he may have taken over as commissioner. Nonetheless, let's fast forward to now. The SPU commander is saying, based on the News 7 article, these persons were never associated, affiliated, or in this unit. He's also saying that the diaries show that authority was given for this guy to come off leave, pick up one gun, get vehicles that I understand was rented by the state. He had to take instructions. I don't know if the Belizean people is paying attention, but that officer, that famous officer, who is well known for giving out the school bags, had to take instructions. And the only person he could have taken instructions from is the operations commander. And the operations commander had to take instructions from the commissioner. And so the operations commander should be on administrative leave, because now he can interfere with that investigation by intimidating or influencing the responses that all officers that are attached to that Mahogany Street station, including the commanding officer of that unit. And so I am calling for the commander of operations to be placed on administrative leave as well. And if there are others within that rank who also were aware, they need to go on. But I can tell you, based on the news item, that instructions were given to the officer commanding SPU to release that weapon, and because this operation was going to be carried out. Now, the video evidence, again, want to call on the Prime Minister, stop being a hypocrite, speaking about you love this country and you want the best for this country and all that nonsense that you politicians like to speak of. Release the video. There are copies of that original video out, Nuri, but we are waiting to see if the government, we're waiting to see what the narrative of the government ultimately will be. I want to also inform the Belizean people that when serious charges are brought against public officers, and in these cases, we are expecting that charges will be brought against these commission officers. Some of these ministries, and this is now becoming a practice, they would hand the case file over, or they will hand the investigation over to the Attorney General's ministry. So I can tell you from experience that when I go before even the labor commissioner or the tribunal, it is the Attorney General ministry that prosecutes these cases, some of these cases, not all of them, but the most serious ones. So the fact that in something as serious as this, that the Prime Minister has not seen it fit to say to the Attorney General ministry, here where they go on, we're going to take the lead on this investigation and we'll prosecute this matter where people need to be prosecuted, is very telling. And that's why I will use the words of my great-grandmother, even though I never know her. Only Jesus could come down and say this was not sanctioned by the state, or that state actors were not involved. This stinks all the way to heaven. I'm hoping that the pressure will be kept up so that these kind of crimes, which have the blessing of personnel in our government, never happen again to any citizen.
Let me ask you,
Go ahead, Nuri.
Have you or any of your colleagues seen the video without its being encrypted the way it was?
I would plead the fifth on that one, Nuri.
Boy.
I would plead the fifth on, but I think
But we don't got the fifth either for we amendment. The fifth is in the American amendment. You can't get away with that, Dean. Fifth is in the U.S. I want
Let's not forget. Let's not forget that these people, this administration, has effectively put public officers' lives at risk by withholding that information.
Wow.
Let's not forget that.
Wow. So in other words, are you saying then that to know what is on that video and to purposely release what is on that video, if it is known, then your life is in danger? Is that what you're saying?
No. There are 3 government offices involved. Lands Department, Library Services, Treasury Department. Then there's the National Bank and Social Security. These are headed by ordinary citizens and public officers. And so those officers that came there to visit all those offices had to speak with a public officer. They had to review those footages with a public officer. So they have effectively put those public officers' life at risk. Those officers, headed by the officer commanding in a range WUB, would have been there immediately after the incident on Saturday and would have returned on Sunday again to speak and visit with those public officers. And that's why I'm saying that this matter is of concern to the Public Service Union of Police, because not only is it a crime at the highest, very highest level, but it also endangers the lives of public officers by John Briceño and his administration refusing to release the original tapes, which clearly exposes the abductors, the kidnappers, the criminals who carried out that act. And so we need to really and truly understand that games are being played here, and as has been suggested by a previous caller, they're trying to drag this thing out. And I am hoping that the opposition could get their act together and lead a serious demonstration on Independence Day to call out this administration for the cover-up on crime. They are covering up a crime. I cannot put it in any other way, shape, or form. I want to also say that I joined with Jerry Enriquez, and I think, and I have a lot of love and a lot of respect for Mr. Anthony Sylvester, because he also came to us as an honest citizen, as a genuine citizen, as a champion of human rights. But then you are put in a political position and you turn your back against your people and you take these type of undefensible position to not come clean to the Belizean people and say, I have spent $5, $6, $7, $8, $9 million on 2 or 3 politically favored attorneys. We knew, as the caller said, they forced us, this government forced Dean Barrow to disclose what he was paying to Lois Young and Dennis Barrow. And we got those numbers. And they were ridiculous. These people became millionaires in 2-3 cases. So is it the same thing that is now occurring with the preferred attorneys, such as the Courtney, Koi, the Marshall X? We need to know that is money. Those are taxpayers' dollars, brother. And for the Attorney General to provide the kind of response that he provided, man, you see, we have to call out these people, man. And like I said, people have to understand that it doesn't matter how much respect you have for somebody or how close you are to somebody. If they do wrong, the only way you have them continue to do better or be better than by calling them out. It's really tough love. And so this morning I want to show some tough love to the current Attorney General and tell him do the right thing. And I'll will say, if you can't do the right thing, then just step down, just resign, because you become a part of the problem. You become a part of the problem which continue to keep your people enslaved, which continue to keep your people divided. And so I think that there is nothing to celebrate for me at this for the 4 years, because really and truly, Nuri, in order to get no better. In order to get no better, we continue to live in poverty. We continue to go to work, to pay bills, to pay a bus, to pay rent, to pay a babysitter. And only a handful of those that we elect who are supposed to be servants continue to thrive and thrive rapidly. And so I just want to use this moment to call on the Belizean people to do some reflection, man. Do some reflection and ask yourself, or if you're really making it, and whether or not this is what we voted for. And I'm calling on the opposition, get up together. And I will say this, the opposition is not the answer. So I'm not suggesting that. But I'm saying that when you have pressures coming from all angles, then people are forced to do at least the better things or better than they're doing, so that we can all then live one better life and live in a safer society. Yeah, so that's my contribution for this morning.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Let's take our next break and we'll be back.
The biggest business event of the year is back and better than ever. The Expo Belize Marketplace 2025. Mark your calendars and join us on September 13th and 14th at the Marion Jones Sporting Complex in Belize City. Don't miss your chance to explore hundreds of local businesses showcasing the very best in local products and services. From unbeatable deals and mouth-watering food and drinks to live entertainment that'll keep you moving. The Expo Belize Marketplace has it all. Whether you're shopping, discovering what's new on the market, or just enjoying the vibes, there's definitely something for everyone. So come on out and celebrate 29 years of Belizean innovation at the Expo Belize Marketplace 2025. See you there.
Every moment matter with your credit card. More transactions, more chances to win cash back. You can be one of 4 monthly winners. Get a chance to win cash back with every purchase of $100 or more. For more information, visit www.atlabank.com. Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
SJ Promotions alongside Bird's Isle Restaurant invites you to the annual Back in the Days Grown Folks Old School Party.
This is WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. If you lived at Belize City, you know that we got cats and dogs dropping out of the sky right now. It's a rainy, very rainy day. And of course, this is the day when our children go to the city center here in Belize City for the Children's Day rally. And so we hope that the rain will hold up because normally, as they do it here in Belize City, the children march from their school to the civic. And but with this rain, you know, and there's a whole saying about how we relate to rain and fire. I don't say it, but you think you know it. So I don't think a lot of people will take the chance of their children having to go through the rain. So I would hope that the rain will hold up. We have some local meteorologists here in the studio. They tell us that the rain may stop by 9 o'clock. And if it does, but please, don't take the chance and make with children they get sick out there. Welcome, caller.
Yes, morning, brother Nuri.
Yeah, my brother. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, my brother? Welcome.
Yeah. Seems like it's a countrywide rain.
Oh, you to get it too?
Yeah, it's poured on here too. Yeah. So, but Nuri, I just want to put in my little 2 cents there about, you know, the whole Guatemala situation where, like I said before, it's just getting more and more serious, more and more brazen, because yesterday, the incident that happened on the 10th, right? That was then. And even yesterday, after the Belize government protested to Guatemala,
Guatemalan gunboat was all the way in front of Fiji. No, even in front of Barranco or in front of the Sarstoon like they usually do.
We
They came all the way in front of Fiji yesterday.
Wow.
Then just to show itself. And this morning, you hear a lot of comments and read a lot of comments, and to me, our people still kind of lost. Some people just say, well, give this thing a chance. That they did at the ICJ, the OAS. Then the OAS have been facilitating only Guatemala. You hear a word from them about this. They were the ones who were here before the ICJ. Let's go to the ICJ. Let's solve this. You heard the two former prime ministers were saying, hey, ICJ is the road to go. At least the minimum they could do now is to at least come out and make some public statement. It's just, to me, we just take this thing and hope that it will go away. But it's not going to go away. Look, we've lost 3,000 acres of our national park. Not no national land, national park, which is recognized by the international community, by the world, inside the Chickaboos. And nothing has been done, nothing has been said to say, okay, we got to get them people out where, so it's like Guatemala just continue to screw us over and over and over. And, it's just like a sad situation. I heard, the previous caller before me just now was talking about, how bad things is in Belize. But again, we have none but ourselves to blame. Because we expect things to solve by just sitting down behind a phone and get on Facebook and any kind of thing that may commit. It is like a sad reality in our country really right now.
Yeah, it is.
And, but tomorrow, we have been, I think, if you recall, one of the first times we usually go to the Sarstoon Island around this time of the year. We don't usually, have a specific date. But we've gone to the Sarstoon Island on the 10th of September several times. But we've been announcing that we are going on the 13th. So, when I believe that the GAF, they might have thought that we were going there on the 10th.
On the 10th, yeah.
So they knew we were coming on the 13th, and then they just wanted to show themselves before we got there. But either way, the island belongs to us, so I don't see why we can't just establish, turn it into a national park, put a lab there. The place is very, very biodiverse, just so that we could establish our presence there.
It's difficult to understand, Will. It is a posture in our policy, and I have to call it a posture, that we are doing the very best to say to those outside who are looking at us, look how we, in a meek and mild way, is approaching this with this big bad wolf over here who is aggressing us, but we're not doing anything to counter that aggression except to do it in a meek and humble way. And so, I don't know if you want to call it an extension of the approach of Mr. Price. Mr. Price always seemed to have been a humble way in which he approached everything. And this is all me just speculating. Could it be that when we go in front of the Guatemalans, we are not like the Israelis who are small, looking up at the giants of the Middle East and saying to them, look here, we might small, but we got power. And so I don't care how much population you got, we got power. We don't have that kind of bucketive. So we're small looking at Guatemala, and we are remaining as humble as we can diplomatically. We have even used a kind of a warning to you to say to Guatemala and maybe to the world, see how we correct our own people to make sure that they don't take this thing to another level. Because you have been chided. I could remember, I could name the foreign minister that named you by name, that you were a troublemaker down there, Will. That all this effort that you were making is you're messing up the process.
Yeah, a lot of you, not only the past foreign minister, but you have a lot of people who is supposed to be well respected, like Mbali G. Mike. Mbali, they carry a lot of pounds, I believe, but they refuse refuse to accept the fact that we are being invaded. They want us to just go crawl under the rug. We cannot continue to be so weak. We lose thousands of acres in our national forest. We lose a lot of seas. We lose a lot of things, and then we're still gonna be like, oh, make it the thing solve itself, make it take a course. I mean, we have a lot of this morning. I was hearing some people reading some comments of some people say, oh well, we are waiting for the ICJ. What can we do? I'm saying we could do a lot of things. Let's lock off the Benke border. Lock that off for a day or two. And then you have the people start to say, well, you know what? Belize is serious. We go up there and they pose up with the Guatemalan president and they pose up with the other Guatemalan officials while they stick we in the side. Come on, man. We need to do better than this. And the Belizean people need to do better than this. We can't just depend on the politicians and people in government. The Belizean people.
Yeah. In the real politique of the world, brother, enemies sit together all the time. It's not like if you are my enemy, I want to act like we are Malay and I go in and attack to you. That's not how we work in diplomacy.
Yeah.
So you could be my enemy. You could be China. I could be the United States. We can still meet. And the photo up still looks like we're friendly to each other. But you are my enemy. So the idea that our posture should be, watch when I catch you. Well, that can't be our posture. That's a stupid posture. But we need to, especially to our own people, let them know that we got the cojones to understand, number one, that we are standing on facts. This is our country, it's not their country. When we need to keep saying that to our own Belizean, particularly our young, who are so tied up now in Facebook and other distraction that the Guatemalan issue is not on their agenda at all. That's why I'm saying if Guatemala should get a piece of our land based on the ICJ, how many of our people will still mind when that happens? Or will it go away like one Lee breeze after 2 years and we say, oh, well, Guatemala won down the area. We don't worry about that anyway because we got our own situation here. Many of our people will think like that because nobody has kept them up on the seriousness of this unfounded claim, which is it's a British fault. It's not a Belizean fault. It's a British fault. And thank you very much, Don Hector. I need to go back and look at that Article 7 because I didn't realize, as he said this morning, that you didn't have to make noise about the cart road because it was also the access to the river, which was already there. So there's so much about this matter that even those of us who have been studying it for years still don't understand some of the intricacies of it. We don't understand why there are some learned persons who are they've written books on this. And they are also of the opinion that we are to stand down as Belizeans, stand down when it comes to anything in the Sarstoon. Make it blow over. Because our case at the ICJ will be so strong that the decision of the ICJ that will make the Guatemalan GAF say, all right, it belongs to UNO then. It seemed to me that the GAF and the government of Guatemala seem to not always be on the same page. They do things, and then the diplomatic area say, oh, we recognize that, and that shouldn't have been, and we have talked to them. 2 months, 6 months later, then they do the same thing. So there is obviously a gap that exists between the civilian government thinking and the military government thinking, and the military government thinking is a longer institution in Guatemala than is the civilian institutions. So Don Hector called it a convoluted situation. It is. It's so full of parts that if you know to keep up, you will lose track. And if you get so much distractions from these instruments that can keep you totally, people could scroll, sometimes they fall asleep to scroll and all because they stay on this thing so long. You don't have no time to think about Guatemala and their incursion because you're into this and into that, and most of what you're into, the Facebook as opposed to educating yourself, because this is a very important instrument of education. But how many of us use it for education, you know? Anyway, thanks, Will. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I just want to remind the people, I know like a lot of people are aware of what took place on the 10th at the Sarstoon Island, but we have our trip planned for the 13th, which is tomorrow. And I want to thank Coconut Boy, the artist. He come down and sing that border song that was really popular a few years ago. Continue to be popular in this circle down here. So he's going to be here, and, you know, we are going.
All right, good. Rain or shine?
Rain or shine.
All right.
Yeah, we're going.
Take care, sir. Respect.
All
right, let's take our last break and come back and close.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Prepare for the heat and stay cool with a Reamer Grey air conditioning unit from Benny's. Choose the right BTU unit size for your bedroom or living room and enjoy complete comfort. You can also save money with an inverter unit that is energy efficient. When the heat is on, stay cool and comfortable with an affordable, dependable AC unit from Ream or Gree. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Here's how to access your contribution history on the My Social Security portal. First, go to your browser and type ssbportal.org.bz. Enter your email and password, then click Log In. Once logged in, you'll see your full portal account on the screen. On the left-hand side, you'll notice a drop-down menu for added features. Click on History. Choose Contributions. Read the disclaimer, then click Continue. You'll now see a full window displaying your contribution history. In the table, each row represents a different year. For example, let's look at the year 2024. Click on the row and a detailed breakdown will appear. This breakdown includes your employer's name, your earnings for each month and week, contribution type, the amounts paid, and that's how you can explore the new contribution feature on the My Social Security portal. It's quick, easy, and keeps your Social Security information right at your fingertips. Create your account today.
SJ Promotions, alongside the iconic Bird's Isle Restaurant, invites you to the annual Back in the Days
All right, we've come to the end. A very exciting and very engaging program today. And we thank those who were part of the discussion, mostly coming over the phone. Thank you very much for the information, particularly those who gave us some history. I don't want to name names, but we appreciate that discussion that we had today. Well, Mose will be back here, God willing, on Monday, and we hope to continue the level of discourse. We have to keep engaged. We realize that it steps on the toe of a lot of people, particularly leaders who feel that they need to control information. I just want you to look at what's going on in Nepal right now, where there was an attempt on the part of the government to control sources of information, where people depended on getting this information to see and to evaluate their government. And the government of Nepal became upset that these platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, X, and others, would not sign the agreements which would have controlled them by a government kind of censorship. And because they refused to sign, the government blocked them. And as a result of being blocked, the people went up in arms. And it became so disturbing that there are riots taking place in Nepal. The Prime Minister has been forced to resign. The public surrounding the house of the Prime Minister torched it, caught it on fire. The Prime Minister's wife was burned up in this fire. And so I'm just saying that when we look around the world, it is not a tranquil haven. It is a world in change and process and change. It is not the United States that we remember from years ago, and nice and Hollywood and nice things. It's not that anymore. In fact, even their movies, they turn into some craziness nowadays. It's not even nice, pleasant, easy, moral stories anymore. It's all killing, sexing, whatever. So it's a new world, and you need to protect your mind. You need to protect your children's mind. You need to engage your things in meaningful conversations. You can't have a Facebook conversation when you're just little bits and pieces of stuff. You need engaging conversation. Talk to people, talk to your family. Anyway, it's important, Belizeans, that we stay focused and not lose our focus during this time. It is important that we stay strong and not allow ourselves to get distracted by these noises and many, many noises in the market of our head. Because the noise is in your head. The noise is not out here. The noise is in your head. So you need to be able to cool down all that noise and keep yourself focused. And then remember that your principles should be under all circumstances. Whatever you do, do the right thing. Because whatever you do is going to come back like a karma after you. So, Belizeans, we thank you for being with us today, and we hope that you will join us again on Monday. For now, we're gone!
Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, we gotta keep moving, Wake up, Belize, everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize, voice our opinion and place your calling, baby. Be yourself, see yourself, this is a show my people. Believe our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution, yeah. No respect on selfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a nation.